All right, man, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready, bro.
All right, well, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you coming through, showing us a couple of things.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Just real quick, just give us a run through on why you do seminars. What's the purpose behind it? What's your goals behind it? Is it more of a martial arts thing? Is it a personal thing?
Man, I don't even know where to start, man. There's so many reasons. I love doing seminars, man. I love traveling, meeting new people. I love spreading the word of Muay Thai and spreading the word of clinching, because that's my favorite part of Muay Thai. And, you know, Muay Thai is like my real love in terms of martial arts. Even though I went into MMA because I like to make more money and um, much more accessible, especially where I'm from in Ohio. There's not really Muay Thai fights and stuff. But originally, you know, I wanted to be a Muay Thai fighter. That was like, you know, that's my passion, man. That's what I love the most about martial arts. It's my favorite martial art by far. So I love spreading the word, man. And I hate that it's just not a popular sport in America. I don't understand exactly why. You know, I have my different theories and different beliefs on what we could do to make it bigger and better in America. But I don't really need to get into that. But
Right.
I think it should and could be a much larger sport. And I wish that it was.
So talk more about your passion about Muay Thai, because I myself didn't even know that you was that passionate about it.
Yeah. What I don't know what to say. I mean, I love it. You know, it's my favorite sport.
Did you start off with that?
Yeah. Um, like day one when I walked into a gym. I mean, I guess I didn't start off with it. I started off just fighting MMA, but wasn't even at a gym or anything. I was just fighting MMA.
Right.
But then when I actually got to a gym, one of the first people I met was Dorian Price, who's still my coach today, and he was the one who kind of turned me on to Muay Thai. He moved to Thailand and lived there on and off for the last about 20 years or so. And he really only comes back from my camps, you know. He don't really come back for anything else. But yeah, he turned me on to it, and I just fell in love with it, man. Like, I love the culture. I love the respect. I think they value the art and the skill and the beauty of martial arts a lot more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
And that to me is just a beautiful thing. And I've never even been to Thailand. It's a dream of mine. But I watch the stadium fights all the time. I have for, 15, 20 years now, or since YouTube at least, however long that's been, and they've been accessible. And the energy in there, I feel it on the screen. You know, I can't wait to go one day and feel that, man. I think it's the most beautiful thing. And I think to me, it's the greatest sport in the world, man.
So I noticed that their seminar you did a lot of clinch work. And it's a little bit of intertwining into MMA, but I noticed it's more Thai based. So I'm assuming that you have some Thai fighters that you admire or that you study to come up with these clinch techniques.
Yep.
Name some?
Yokapam was number one. The hunter of 1,000 stitches or 1,000 elbows. Yokapam has always been my number one guy. When I discovered him, he completely changed my clinch style. Just watching the way that he clinches and the pressure he puts on him to clinch. More recent fighters, Wicha, who I mentioned during the seminar, is probably one of my favorites. But honestly, I love all the Muay Thai fighters. I love how they have different styles. They're all doing the same thing, but it's all very stylistically different. And they're all trying to achieve the same thing in different ways. But certainly Yokapon is my number one guy.
I noticed that you're very, very technical with certain aspects of the clinch, fixing people up. What is it that you want to get? You trying to spread the Muay Thai passion, MMA?
Yeah, for sure.
In general?
Yeah, all that, man. I think we just got to keep people in gyms, man. You know, the world that we live in, and the lives that we live, the things we have to deal with in the lives that we live today. This is the most pure and beautiful thing out there. Martial arts. My passion is Muay Thai part of martial arts. So that's what I try to spread. Um, I think every person that isn't in the gym is doing themselves a disservice by not knowing and understanding martial arts. Everybody should be in the gym at least for a certain amount of time in their lives. It may not fit like who you are or your goals in life, whatever, but you need to know what it's like to get punched in the face. You need to know, you need to understand the hierarchy of human beings. Like this guy can take you down and do anything he wants to you if he wants. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing you're gonna do. And they bring a lot of humility to the world, which is a problem. And I mean, the benefits go on and on. You know, not even counting just the simple fitness and
Right.
weight loss aspects. You know, that's almost like a byproduct, in my opinion. Just the mental fortitude that it builds, and
Help you to everyday life. Like you're trying to convince somebody, sign up because this will help you out.
yeah, it's kind of, I guess, kind of what I was talking about just a minute ago. I mean, where to start with that is difficult because there's it crosses so many boundaries, and literally every aspect of your life is going to be improved. Like if people these days don't suffer, they don't suffer nothing. They sit in the air conditioned office doing some menial fucking task, and they go home, eat dinner, you know, some fucking hamburger, or, you know, some comfort soul food, whatever, and they watch fucking 90 Day Fiance till they go to bed or what. You know what I mean? Like there ain't no hardship, and you're not gonna build anything in your life good. Anything easy isn't worth having, right? I mean, I think this is a well-known thing, but people don't want to suffer, and they don't want to deal with hardships. They don't want to deal with struggle. And the beautiful thing about the Muay Thai specifically, as opposed to Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, a lot of other martial arts, is I believe you can very, especially with good instructors in a good gym, you can very safely get a very good concept of martial arts. Like you can learn, basically you can learn that you suck without getting demolished. Right? You're gonna learn jiu-jitsu day one that you suck, but you're gonna get fucking held down. Dude's gonna sweat all over your face and he's gonna choke you out, and you're gonna go home about, oh, that was fucking miserable. But Muay Thai, like you can learn right away. Like I can just touch you a bunch of times and let you know, like you suck, bro. Like if I want to fucking take you outside and murder you, I can with my hands. You know what I mean? You can know that by me just touching you. You know, and if you go to a bad gym, you know, they can, you know, they might just try to knock you out or something too. But that's not really, in my opinion, 99% of Muay Thai, that's not what Muay Thai is about. It's about the art and about the beauty. And, you know, that's why if you, like, you go to Thailand or something, they'll have you kick the back. They're like, you know, we don't want to hurt you. You know what I mean?
So I saw, well, in House of Muay Thai, we have quite a few young, up and coming amateurs. What advice do you have for them? What advice do you have for them to bring that balance of obviously they're about to go into adult right now, but at the same token, they're still young. They're still learning something. What advice do you have for them?
Depends on their goals. Like, I do get asked that question a lot, like advice for the youth, but it really depends on their goals. So I don't think there's one general advice I would give to everyone because it depends on what their goals are. Now, if they want to be a professional fighter and that's their goal, then my advice would be forget about the balance. That's the biggest mistake people try to make. They try to balance regular life with fighting.
Um, so another thing that you added at the end um, was about mental strength. You meditating. A lot of people, especially with what's going on these days, all the craziness that's going on the last 2 years and stuff, a lot of people don't understand that. I myself practice meditation. I myself
Good.
is going through the exercises of getting mental strength. Again, what advice do you have?
Again, I think it's very dependent on the specific person. mental strength can be built to some extent, I think, through hardship and struggle. Um, and I mean, things like meditation are going to build mental strength. You know what I mean? It's just going to have you mentally more clear, and clarify your vision. And that's usually, I think, is the mistake that people are making when they don't have mental strength, is that they're not clear on their vision, right? Like if I want to climb this mountain, for fun, it's like, well, you get halfway up, you get tired, you're like, well, this ain't so fucking fun, I'm going back. Now, if your mother is dying on top of that mountain, you're going to get to the fucking top. Or if your life depends on it, whatever kind of extreme scenario. So people say, they don't have the mental strength to do things. Well, it's because they only exercise about 10% of their actual mental strength. Like, we all have the mental strength to do thousands of percentages beyond what we think we can. It's just a matter of what's your vision and what is your goal and what is, what do you want out of this shit? I wanted to be a world champion UFC fighter from day one, and I knew that, and I knew that I was going to either get there or I was going to die trying.
So one thing too that I saw today too is that you're very observant. You're teaching a lot of technique. Do you teach when you're not in training camp?
Yeah.
When you're not fighting or anything like that?
You pumping me up good, bro. I like this. I like this interview. No, I teach all the time, man. I have a lot of fighters I work with all the time, and I teach classes at my own gym pretty regularly. But like I was telling Coach earlier, man, I like teaching kids. I see, like, kids care, man. They respect. If they don't, it's easy to teach them those things, or are much more likely to be able to teach those things. Adults, most of them, they kind of already are what they are. So I really enjoy teaching the kids. I like watching them grow. I like watching them become different human beings. I love creating forks in the road of their life. That's the way I see it, is like, when they walk into my gym and they commit to it, I just created a fork in their life. They were going down this path and they just took a fucking U-turn. Now they're going down this path, man, and they just got, their life is completely changed now. And it's just the most fulfilling thing. I mean, I could talk about it all day, man. It's the most beautiful thing. I've just seen, well, we've all seen, where kids go and how their lives lead going down certain paths. And we know what road it leads down when they go down the martial arts path, and we teach them the way. And when they go down that path, it's a much better. And to bring a kid over to that is, again, it's just very, very fulfilling thing.
I just started teaching myself, so I feel that a lot. I feel that a lot these days. This is all like off topic, but like,
Yeah.
I feel the same way, man. Like, just teaching people, even if it's just basic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, it just came out of nowhere, and like, all of a sudden you just feel like this euphoric feeling. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
You show somebody that doesn't know anything, and just because they practice that over and over and over, by the end of the class they got that one kick right.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
But particularly for me, particularly for kids,
Mm-hmm.
when you see, and the techniques and everything are only half of it, but I just I have my own kids. I see the types of role models. I see the types of heroes that they look up to, that they see, on their fucking YouTubes, and this is their heroes of today's fucking YouTube influencers. The world has lost heroes. Like, they don't have them anymore, right? There's no Supermans. There's no, there's no, even like He-Man or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, these heroes of today are people that stand in front of a camera and do silly shit. Good for them, make money. Cool. But that's not conducive towards building a strong youth. So for us to be able to give that to the youth, to me is a very, very powerful thing, and is one of the last hopes for humanity. which which is a big statement, right? But it's pretty fucking true, to be honest.
So when you're teaching, and again, you got years of experience now, but as you're teaching and you're teaching basics, do you ever come across certain like, oh shit, like this was something I was working on for years. I finally got it clicked while I'm teaching somebody else. Do you ever have those events while you're teaching?
For sure, man. Like that's like the hardest part of teaching is being confident that you know it, and giving that to someone else, because as a martial arts student, every time I step on the mats, I look at myself as a white belt. I'm like, I don't know anything, but now I got to tell them everything. And that's why I was glad we ended with that, where I told them, look, 10,000 hours is the beginning. Like, you don't know anything now. What they call it, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like, have you ever heard of this, right? Like, that's the most common thing I see in martial arts all the time. Like, people think they know because they learned a little bit. And it's like, bro, I've been around motherfuckers that I don't care what you think you know. Like, they gonna let you know you don't know shit. You know?
Pretty much to wrap it up, I think we tackled a lot of stuff. Just what are your future plans? What are your goals? You know, once you achieve your goals, you know, obviously you're not a plan B person. You got a steady plan A. So what are your plan A's from here on forward?
Right now, I take it fight by fight. Right now, my next plan is to get my next fight, which should be booked any day now, and beat this dude's ass. That's my next plan.
100%.
After that, I mean, may not live past that, so who knows, right?
Right.
We'll worry about that day when it comes. And that's just the way I've always been. Like, I don't. It's probably why I'm divorced. But my, you know, people always try to make plans with me after fights. Like, oh, we're going on vacation. Oh, we're gonna do this. My brother, I may not live through this fight. Like, I don't have any intention. I'm willing to die in there. So why would I make a plan for after the fight? You know, like that. I pretty much plan that's my last day on this planet anyway. You know, and I'm just cool with that. And it helps me relax in the cage. You know, and it's like, oh well, I'm probably gonna die tonight anyway, so might as well go out with a bang. Kind of weird, right? I mean,
It's not weird at all. I mean,
but shit, but yeah, we understand it. But like, I have kids too, though, so you know that's a little different, you know, because I can't really be quite as extreme with that as I used to. But with my family and girlfriends and stuff like that, you know, they always want to talk about what we're gonna do after the fight, and I'm like, don't fucking worry about it. I probably won't be here.
Right.
Yeah, but my kids, I'll tell them like, yeah, we'll have a Christmas party or you know whatever, you know.
So being
Can't tell my kids that, you know, like hey, Dad's gonna die in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're getting to that age, huh?
Well, you know what it is, and again, another side note is just that I noticed that a lot of people are not too comfortable just having that discussion. Period. Everybody knows that their time is coming, but they just try to ignore it as much as they can.
Right.
They don't want to face it. You know, not so much you have to stare it down in the face, but like, yeah, this can happen. So let me enjoy what I'm trying to achieve.
Absolutely, man. That's the old samurai mentality, you know, like they live every day like they're gonna die today.
Yeah.
So when they do die, like, you know, they say like if there's 10,000 men in front of you, like you don't turn around and run, you run into them motherfuckers. You die like with some fucking honor, you know. And that shit is lost today, man. There ain't none of that shit around. Like these motherfuckers, you know, everybody gonna try to, you know, they're just a bunch of pussies, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a pussy world. Like, what do you say, right? Like, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm the Immortal Matt Brown. First, we'll give a shout out to 757. You can find me. I am the Immortal on Twitter and Instagram. And I got the Immortal Coffee also. Immortal Martial Arts, sponsored by Routine. ROOTINE. And yeah, you can find me everywhere. Google me, whatever. The Immortal Matt Brown on Facebook, I think. I'm not even sure. And yeah, just follow along, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Nice.